choose in this soliloquy. So to start, to be or not to be, that is the question. Whether this nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles,
and by opposing end them to die to sleep.
no more, and by sleep to say we end the heartache and thousands no natural shock. That flesh is heir to tis a consummation, devoutly to be wished, to die to sleep. So, Hamlet starts off by asking, not to be, which is obviously, as everybody knows, is to live or to die, and questions which one he should choose. How do you feel about that? Like if you were to question, should I live or should I die? How would you feel?
I would feel as though I would have to put together a lot of pros and cons. I would feel as though my life on earth and how my current status is and how everything's going emotionally, physically, mentally, that if it's that bad that I'm even thinking about death, that it probably has reached the point where, to me, in my opinion, or like for my limits, that is to the point where it's like I would rather be dead. But then you also have to think of after.
And then he does get to that point where he starts talking about what life is after that. So I'll read that part. Devoutly to be wished, to die to sleep perchance, to dream. There's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come. So that's the section I meant to pinpoint. He says to sleep, to dream, but who knows what type of dream may come. The forever lasting sleep, which he means by death. Who knows what will happen? Like, what dream would I dream? Will I be in a hell type of dream, or would I be in peace, in paradise, an island after I die? No one knows. He questions that. Whether death is a good choice just based off of not knowing what comes after that, right?
Right.
So yeah, like I personally, I feel like religion plays a big role in like questioning life after death, because there are people have different perspectives on where you're going. People think that you're either going to hell or heaven. Some people think you're going to be reincarnated, but there's no proven scientific fact of where we're going to go after we die. So that's why I have put here. Where do you think we'll go after we die? Do you think that we'll be reincarnated into another life? Or do you think that maybe there is a heaven and there is a hell?
I cannot answer that
Kiki,
question.
answer the question,
Kiki. Myself, but I do feel as though that there is a afterlife somehow that we just don't know about yet, or we don't know until it actually happens. I feel like there is a higher power, and there is like I feel like our spirits go somewhere. It's just the fact of when it goes back to him debating if he should live or to die, the whole situation with killing yourself. In some cultures, killing yourself is like honorable and things like that sort. But then also in other cultures like Christianity, that religion, you can go to hell for killing yourself. So it's like, that's where you have to decipher, is you living right now where the place that you are is already hell and you're willing to take that chance, or is it to the point where you're thinking like, you're thinking like how him, like he's scared to do it because you still don't know. So then that's when you have to make that decision of how bad is it, and am I willing to take this chance from my faith and what I believe.
Right.
And to basically make that decision, make that step.
I agree with you, but I'm more like, I do believe that there's like there is a greater power, like there's a greater being. I do believe in that aspect, but I do also believe that I have a strange belief. I believe that we are reincarnated into like another life spectrum. Like we might have been someone else in a previous life, but we're consistently being reincarnated to either perfect what we didn't, whatever mistakes we made in the previous life. But at the same time, I'm still befuddled to the point where I don't know for sure, because in reincarnation they don't specify whether you have any recollect of your previous life, and who knows if we've even been reincarnated. So he is fearing the unknown, and like Kiana says, there's that fear of the unknown. There's many different perspectives on how people come about after death, but there's no actual scientific fact that there's this one particular way that we're going to be when we die, where we're going to go. No one knows. There's no way to know. So then he does come about explaining why would we want to live when it comes to like oppression, world crisis, and he states this in his soliloquy. Sorry. So that's the part I was trying to pinpoint. When we have shuffled off this mortal coil, must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time? The oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pang of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit
Shakespeare is so hard,
the
man.
unworthy
Why is it so
takes,
hard?
when he himself
I can't even read none
might
of this.
his quietest make with a bare bodkin, who would fidels bear, to grunt and sweat under a weary life. So when he says all that, he's explaining who would want to be stressed out, who would want to have a long life of stress, trouble, oppression, men with their prides that end up doing wrong to other people because they're so prideful or they're so ignorant to see that they're causing pain to others. Like, who would want to bear all that? Who would want to live that long to just have all that accumulate on them? And so it's just built up problems and stress, and you would just want to go through all that. That's what Hamlet is saying. Like, why would I want to do that? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, why would I want to?
I feel as though it comes into where I kind of believe in some, like, I'm the type of person, I believe in different type of religions, like the higher powers and everything like that. But specifically, this reminds me of like Judaism, where you have
Pizza
to find,
has been on my mind all day,
where you're reaching nirvana. You're reaching the greatest you're perfecting yourself. You're realizing that all of this corruption, this, that, and the third, it's all an illusion. It's all stuff that is once everyone figures out themselves and they can
Domino's or Papa John's? That's the question right there.
reach something in themselves to where they realize that all of that stuff has nothing to do with living. Like, to live is to experience everything and to get to know yourself and get to know the world, and just to build yourself up to what is in you. I'm not sure how to explain it more than that, but I feel as though that's the whole point. Like, even if there is reincarnation, even if there is heaven and hell, I still feel like there's that chance that you're still building yourself up for another life, for another anything. You're still building yourself up, and once you reach that, it's like you're part of everything after that.
Right.
So It just all goes back to how you believe and what do you believe in, what's your faith and your religion. And yeah, there's not much else I could say about that, but
so he does also yeah. But this is the last section we're gonna touch base on. Yeah, it's fine. We're gonna he solves it though. He explains exactly why people would not want to just kill themselves. He explains it is basically the unknown. It's basically the unknown of what afterlife is. It's the fear.
How we were deciphering everything. How you have to literally sit there and decipher beliefs. What is right, what is wrong, what was told to you, what was taught to you, what other people may believe. You got to decipher what you truly believe and how you're truly going to go about things and how your faith is. So it's like, if you don't know and you don't truly believe in your higher power or your faith, there's no real way of like being certain that you want to die and you're ready to face that stuff, or you're ready to face either going to hell for sinning, or you're ready to face just nothing at all.
He basically says at the end that all of us are cowards. We're all cowards, because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna kill myself and find out. Like, I'm not gonna kill myself just because I'm having just to figure it out. Not saying that I'm afraid of death, but I'm just saying that why would I try and kill myself, even if I'm having a hard day? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, yeah, there are people who just think that there's no other way, but most of us, we have the thought, but we never go through with it because of the fear of the unknown, which makes us all cowardly at the end of the day.
And like, to add on to that, I also feel as though when a person takes their life, they're put on earth for a reason. So I feel as though it's like more so like it trickles down. So say if someone was to kill themselves and they were supposed to 3 months later save somebody from getting ran over by a car, I feel as though all of that trickles down and it just makes it's like a endless cycle of tragedies happening because you ended your lifespan before you would have what you were truly there for. You were there for a certain moment. You were there for certain things to do, to learn something, to be in somebody's life, to teach somebody something, to learn something yourself. I feel as though it all trickles down, and then that's a part of the corruption and like the depression going on here too. That's just my opinion when I decipher it for myself.
Yeah. So, thank you so much, Kiana, for being a part of my project. I truly appreciate it. This is the end of our
TED
Talk. We are just, if you don't agree with anything that we said, it's okay. We're having a discussion. It's an open discussion. And we appreciate y'all for tuning in. Thank you so much. Goodbye.